Wednesday introduced a world overflowing with supernatural abilities, mostly centered around Nevermore Academy, a school for outcasts. We're about to break down every ability from the show, so be sure to subscribe, and let's get into it. The students of Nevermore. The student body of Nevermore Academy is a fascinating collection of individuals, each with their own unique heritage and corresponding powers. One of the more enigmatic students is Yoko, who, despite not having a large amount of screen time, represents a classic supernatural archetype. Yoko is descended from a line of vampires, a fact that is subtly but clearly communicated through her character design. She is frequently seen wearing dark glasses, a necessary precaution to shield her eyes from the harsh brightness of sunlight, a traditional vampire weakness. While the first season didn't provide an opportunity to see her utilize the full range of her vampiric abilities or explore her in depth, her presence sets up that this powerful horror lineage exists within the school. We can fairly safely assume that the classic powers of a vampire will show up at some point, such as enhanced strength, speed, and, of course, a thirst for blood leading to obsession, leaving a lot of potential for her character to exhibit these powers in the future. Another student whose powers are rooted in ancient mythology is Ajax. As a Gorgon, his abilities are directly inspired by the legend of Medusa, capable of turning onlookers to stone, which gives them the nickname of Stoners. The source of this formidable power is his fascinating hair, which is made of a collection of actual living snakes. This requires him to take constant precautions, which is why he is almost always seen wearing a hat to keep his serpentine hair under control and prevent accidental petrification of his friends or random unsuspecting bystanders. The danger of his power even reaches personal grounds, as he is not immune to his own gaze. This was shown to us in a moment of total shock when he caught a glimpse of his own reflection in a mirror during a shower and was temporarily turned to stone himself. Interestingly, the effects of his power, as shown in the series, are not permanent, contrary to the typically eternal lasting effects from the folktales. Those who lock eyes with him are only turned to stone for a short period before being released completely unharmed. While the thought of being trapped in stone is terrifying, its temporary nature makes his power a startling inconvenience rather than a fatal threat, though it certainly has the potential to be devastating in a critical situation. In contrast to the mythological, epic nature of a Gorgon, Eugene's power seems almost mundane at first glance, but it proves to be surprisingly effective. Eugene has a deep and abiding interest in bees, spending his time keeping them and collecting their honey. However, this hobby is revealed to be something much more profound. It becomes clear that Eugene is not just a beekeeper. He can actually communicate with and command bees, directing them to do his bidding. This unique ability is a powerful tool to hold, even if it doesn't seem that way at first glance. Its full potential was only briefly glimpsed near the end of the season, when he summoned a massive swarm of bees to attack Miss Thornhill, also known as Laurel Gates, preventing her from killing Wednesday right then and there. The sight of a coordinated swarm is enough to instill fear in almost anyone, and it raises some really compelling questions about the full extent of his control. How many bees can he summon at once, and what other complex commands can he give them? His power is one of the more unusual in this series, and its potential for both defense and offense is major, suggesting a much greater role for him to play as he hones this ability. Xavier possesses one of the more creatively unique and simultaneously dangerous power sets at Nevermore. His primary ability is to bring his art to life. Anything he draws or paints can manifest as a physical object or creature in the real, living world. This was seen in a relatively dull instance when he made a drawing of a spider crawl off the page. However, his powers have a much darker and less controllable dimension. Similar to Wednesday, Xavier experiences psychic visions, which often manifest as vivid dreams that feel incredibly real. These dreams gave him insight into the season's central mystery, as he dreamt of the Hyde's lair and its terrifying appearance. He channeled these visions into his art, painting a menacing portrait of the Hyde as he saw it in his dream. In a terrifying turn of events, the creature from his painting seemingly came to life and slashed him with its claws, demonstrating that his art can be a conduit for real, physical danger. While he hasn't fully explored using his powers in dangerous situations, the incident with the Hyde painting proves that his ability, if weaponized, could be incredibly potent and perilous. The full potential of this power remains largely unseen, leaving a great deal of intrigue about what else he could create and what damage it could cause. Bianca is another student with a powerful lineage, descending from a long line of sirens. Traditionally, sirens in mythology were known for using their enchanting voices to lure sailors to their doom, shipwrecking and then killing them brutally. It's a myth that plays on the fear of betrayal, being pulled in with sweet words only to be turned into prey. The series presents a slightly different, more modern interpretation of this ancient power. Bianca's beautiful voice is well known at Nevermore, as she is the lead singer of a vocal group, but her true power lies in her ability to influence people with her words, a form of persuasive suggestion that borders on secretive mind control. We saw her use this ability on Tyler toward the end of the season. However, she doesn't use this power frequently, in large part because of a special chain she wears around her neck, which seems to render her abilities useless. This self-imposed limitation hints at a desire to be seen for who she is, not what her power can make people believe. The darker side of the Siren's abilities is shown through her mother, who uses her own powers to recruit vulnerable people into a cult called the Morning Songs, where individuals are clearly being taken advantage of. This shows just how potent and dangerous the power of a siren can be when used without restraint. One of the most classic outcast archetypes is the werewolf, embodied in Wednesday's lovely roommate, Enid. Descended from a pack of werewolves, Enid spent most of the season struggling with her own transformation. While she could tap into minor elements of her heritage, such as her fingernails extending into sharp, formidable claws, she was unable to achieve a full transformation, a source of great anxiety and feelings of inferiority for her. That all changed during the climactic events of the finale. Under the light of a full blood moon, Enid finally transformed into a fully fledged werewolf. In her wolf form, she demonstrated immense power, putting up a ferocious fight against the monstrous Hyde and being instrumental in protecting her friends. Now that she is finally wolfed out, she has access to the full suite of werewolf abilities. Her physical appearance will change dramatically when she transforms, and she will possess razor-sharp teeth, enhanced agility, incredible speed, and overwhelming strength, making her a truly fearful opponent to face, ensuring she can always keep her friends safe. Her journey from a struggling late bloomer to a powerful protector is one of the season's most compelling character arcs. The staff and villains. The powers at Nevermore are not just limited to the student body. The adults in this world possess some crazy abilities of their own, often tied to dark pasts and complex motivations. Principal Weems was a character whose abilities were as intriguing as they were underutilized, leaving a sense that there was much more to her story. Weems was a shapeshifter, possessing the incredible power to morph into any person she desired. This was not a simple illusion, though, because she could perfectly replicate their voice, mannerisms, and physical appearance, and could revert back to her original form at will. We saw her use this power strategically on a few key occasions. She used it to cover up the death of the student Rowan, transforming into him to remove any sinister suspicions and protect the school's reputation. Her final use of this power was her most daring, as she changed into Tyler in an attempt to trick Miss Thornhill into confessing her crimes. This power offers a huge tactical advantage, and it's clear Weems used it for what she believed was the greater good of the institution she led. Her hinted at dark past suggests she may have used this ability for more personal and perhaps morally ambiguous reasons before her time as principal, adding a layer of tragedy to her ultimate fate. The primary antagonist of the season, the Hyde, is a monster born from a tragic and extremely twisted lineage. The creature's power resided within Tyler Galpin, who inherited the genetic potential to become a Hyde from his mother's side. This condition is a direct reference to the classic story of Jekyll and Hyde, representing a monstrous, violent side that is a stark contrast to the individual's normal personality. In the world of Wednesday, a Hyde is not a naturally occurring monster, but must be activated or unlocked by a master through trauma or chemical manipulation. Once this transformation is initiated, the Hyde swears absolute loyalty to its master, compelled to carry out any command without question. Tyler's Hyde form is a terrifying showcase of raw, animalistic power. It stands several feet tall, with a massive, muscular build, gouging eyes, and a mouth full of sharp teeth. Its primary weapons are its long, sharp claws, and it possesses immense strength and agility, making it an incredibly difficult creature to defeat. The Hyde's resilience is one of its most frightening attributes. Even after being captured and restrained in the final episode, it was clear that the chains and transport van would not hold it for long, as Tyler began to transform once again, ready to break free and escape. This leaves an unsettling ambiguity about how to truly stop or contain one of these monsters, solidifying its status as one of the most dangerous threats in the series, the Addams family legacy. The Addams family itself is the source of many of the most potent supernatural abilities, with a legacy of psychic power passed down through generations. However, not every member has shown these abilities yet. Pugsley Addams, Wednesday's younger brother, has not exhibited any supernatural powers thus far in the series. While he shares his family's bizarre sensibilities, he appears to be a normal human. However, given the genetic nature of his family's gifts, it is entirely possible that he may develop abilities similar to his relatives as he gets older. His current lack of powers sets him apart and could be a source of future conflict or development for his character. The patriarch of the family, Gomez Addams, also has an ambiguous relationship with supernatural powers. The series does not explicitly state whether he possesses any special, powerful abilities himself. However, it's hinted that he may have psychic abilities, much like his wife and daughter, though this is purely speculative. What is not ambiguous is his exceptional, albeit non-supernatural talent for fencing. He is known to be a master swordsman, a skill that he has clearly passed down to Wednesday, who demonstrates remarkable prowess with a blade throughout the season. In stark contrast to the ambiguity surrounding Gomez, his brother, Uncle Fester, has a very direct and flashy power. He can generate electricity. This unique and useful ability manifests as a visible electrical charge that he can control. We saw him use this power in small but memorable bursts during his appearance in the show. He used it to shock Tyler and also demonstrated his control over it when approaching Wednesday, causing electricity to build between his hands to disarm her. Fester's power is as eccentric as his personality, and its raw energy proves to be a beneficial tool in a variety of situations. The matriarch, Morticia Addams, possesses psychic powers that are the direct inheritance passed down to Wednesday. Like her daughter, Morticia experiences visions, but there is a fundamental difference in their nature. Morticia's visions are described as having a brighter outlook on life. They are less intense and generally more positive. This has led to her being described metaphorically as a dove. Despite their gentler nature, her abilities are still significant, and she uses the insight she gains from them to guide and protect her family. This contrast with Wednesday's darker visions highlights the different ways their shared power can manifest, shaped by their individual personalities. The roots of the Addams family's psychic abilities run deep, stretching back to ancestors like Goody Addams. A historical figure in the family's lore and a key character in Wednesday's visions of the past, Goody was an incredibly powerful psychic and a witch. Her abilities went beyond mere visions. She could cast potent spells and curses, making her a formidable figure in her time. Her influence is still felt in the present day, as it is her bloodline that gives Wednesday her powers and her unresolved battle with Joseph Crackstone that drives much of the season's plot. Goody represents the pinnacle of the Addams family's supernatural potential. Also, of everyone watching, only 1% is subscribed, so you guys better get it to at least 5%, or Wednesday and Thing will make you. Just kidding. Not kidding. Thank you. The unrivaled powers of Wednesday Addams. At the center of this world of supernatural phenomena is Wednesday Addams, a character defined by her stone-cold personality, her sharp intellect, and the formidable powers she is only just beginning to understand. Initially an outcast even among the other strange folks at Nevermore, she actively pushed people away, preferring solitude. Yet by the end of the season, her unique abilities and unwavering determination made her the unlikely savior of the very school she hated, and the talk of all its students. Wednesday possesses a wide arsenal of powers and abilities, some supernatural and some learned, that make her an incredibly powerful individual. Her primary power is her psychic visions. This ability is multifaceted, allowing her to perceive events across time in 3 distinct ways. Firstly, she can see into the distant past, as she did when she experienced visions of her ancestor Goody Addams being captured by Joseph Crackstone hundreds of years ago. Secondly, she can see into the immediate future, giving her glimpses of impending danger. This was crucial when she foresaw the fatal attack on Rowan and the assault on Eugene by the Hyde, allowing her to intervene. Finally, her visions can uncover secrets hidden in the present day, revealing a person's true nature. The most pivotal use of this was when she touched Tyler and saw that he was the Hyde, not Xavier, exposing the true villain and changing the show's plot entirely. The mechanism of her visions is still something she is learning to control. For now, they seem to be triggered involuntarily, when she makes physical contact with a person or an object of significance. Touching the door of the barn where Crackstone trapped the outcasts, for example, sent her back in time. Her visions can also be experienced through the eyes of others, as she saw Tyler's true nature from the point of view of his therapist. These visions take a physical toll, often causing her to collapse or pass out in reality, making them dangerous to experience. Beyond her supernatural gifts, however, Wednesday has many other skills and is an extremely well-equipped fighter. She's highly skilled in multiple forms of combat. She has expert martial arts skills, which she uses with brutal efficiency to fend off anyone who tries to intimidate or harm her or her friends, as seen when she protected Eugene at Pilgrim World and fought off bullies in the town of Jericho. Alongside her hand-to-hand combat skills, she is also a very talented fencer. Upon her arrival at Nevermore, she immediately challenged the school's reigning fencing champion, Bianca, and proved to be a worthy competitor, though she was ultimately defeated in that match. Her prowess with a sword was put to the ultimate test in the final episode, where she wielded a sword in a one-on-one battle against the resurrected Joseph Crackstone, demonstrating her mastery of the blade in a life-or-death struggle. Another one of Wednesday's more subtle but constantly present abilities is her power to inflict fear through her personality alone. Her deadpan tone, morbid attitude, and completely unpredictable behavior create an aura of intimidation that keeps most people at a distance. Students at Nevermore tend not to confront her, not only because of her reputation, but because they are afraid of her sharp, cutting responses and the unnerving calmness with which she navigates every situation. This psychological dominance is a tool she uses to maintain control and protect her carefully constructed emotional solitude. Outside of magical and combat abilities, Wednesday also possesses a range of leisure talents that speak to her disciplined and intellectual nature. She is an extremely talented cellist, often playing complex and haunting pieces of music on the terrace of her dorm room at night, losing herself in the melody. She is also a polyglot, able to speak several different languages, a skill she demonstrated when she effortlessly conversed with German tourists at Pilgrim World. These skills, combined with her sharp, analytical mind, make her a skilled detective, capable of cracking cases and thinking outside the box in ways that elude everyone else around her. The first season of the show felt like it only scratched the surface of what these characters and their powers are capable of. With so many abilities introduced, there's a ton of potential to explore their strengths, their weaknesses, and their role in the ongoing struggle between outcasts and the ordinary world. So this has been Every Power in Wednesday Explained. Are there any powers you're looking forward to seeing more of in Season 2? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to see more Wednesday content and theories, click the video on screen now.